Hello, this is Christopher, and I'm about to set up weekly pivot points for next week's trading on my chart, and I wanted to just use this video as a short tutorial on how you can set up your own pivot points on your own Forex chart. Like I said, I'm about to set up weekly pivot points, so to set up weekly pivot points I need to look at last week's trading, the open, low, high, and close points, and let's go ahead and do that now. What I've got here is a chart opened on the weekly time frame. So if I look at the bar here, this bar right here is currently this week's trading, just started a couple hours ago. This is last week's trading range right here, and you can see down toward the bottom, open, high, low, and close. Now if I move my mouse you probably won't be able to see it because it'll take it away. But right here we're talking open, low, high, and close will show up in just a second if I hover over that week's trading. So we've got an open of 123.45, a high of 125.75, a low of 121.72, and a close of 124.19. That is the only four price points we need to create our own pivot points. So to do this, rather than doing it by hand, I'm going to go to my favorite search engine, Mr. Google here, and type in calculate pivot points. And I'll go to just the first selection right here, and as you can see it asks for the data points that we already have: open, high, low, and close. So let me jump over here, get the open. The open is 124.43. The high is 127.63. The low is 122.10, and finally the close is 126.58. Hit a simple button right here. And here are the pivot points. Now forget the midpoints. Don't worry about those. This, indicated with the PP right here, is just pivot point. So this is the midpoint, the mid pivot point. And you can see above the pivot point is resistance level 1, resistance level 2, resistance level 3, and resistance level 4. Also, below the pivot point is support 1, support 2, support 3, and support 4. Now, to add these to the chart is very simple. And I usually don't add them all. I usually add the middle and then maybe 1, 2, and 3. 4 I'll add if the price begins getting close to it, but that means the price would have to move over, what's that, 1,700 pips for it to get around there. So it could happen, but it may not. Simply add them when it does. So I'm going to drop down to, no, I'm just going to stay right here. Let me draw a simple midpoint. I've drawn a line here. I'm going to make this a little bit red and a little bit bigger because I want to notice these immediately. And go here and adjust this. The parameter is 125.44, so I'll type in 125.44. Boom, there's the midpoint pivot point for this week's trading. Let me add the next one, which I usually change to be blues. I want to keep the midpoint readily so I can see it easily, and that's the reason I make it red. Resistance level 1 is 128.77. So let me go back here. 128.77. Okay. We draw another one. 130.97. 130.97. 0.97. All right. And then finally, the last one I'll draw for the resistance is 136.50. 136.5. Alright, so there's my resistance levels. Simply, after that, I'll draw my support levels right here below the midpoint. Support level 1, indicated by S1, is 123.24. So let me go back here, 123.24. Support 2 is 119.91. 119.91. And then finally, the last one I'll draw is support 3, 114.38. Okay, very simply, I have drawn my pivot points for all of next week's trading. I can drop down to any time frame. I can go down to a 30-minute, and as you can see, we're near the midpoint. And as trading resumes and continues to go forward throughout the week, then it will begin reaching either the supports or the resistance or both. Depends on how volatile price is. But you can see I can go to any time frame here, and the pivot points remain the same. Now I am using what's called MetaTrader. I got it from fxdd.com. You can go there and download. This is a demo account. So I come in here, and I'm showing you through a demo account how to set up pivot points. There are some indicators you can just include on here, and it'll draw the pivot points for you. I like to do them manually just so I can realize where the levels are at. So that's a quick tutorial on how to set up pivot points, and it should be very simple to do on just about any charting package.